A disciple is somebody who has a diet. They feed on the scriptures. Jesus says, if you're my disciples, you will abide in my word. The second thing that makes a disciple is devotion. Jesus says, follow me. So this is more than just believing in Jesus mentally. It's actually following Jesus. And this is more than following him on Twitter or watching Chosen. It's actually living in devotion to Jesus. The third mark of disciple is discipline. Disciples forsake sin and they live some sort of a way of discipline, which is one of the reasons I believe that every church should practice as a culture some sort of a prayer and fasting, whether it's once a week, once a month, once in 2-3 months. So it gives a outlet for disciples to practice their disciplines. Because a disciple is not a disciple without a discipline. So there's a diet, there's devotion, there's discipline. Fourth one is decisions. They lead other people to make a decision for Jesus. They fish for souls. Jesus says, if you follow me, he didn't say I'll make you healthy, wealthy, rich. He says you will fish for souls. Meaning one of the first marks of true disciple is that they begin to care for the lost. They win souls. And that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing is discipleship. You say a disciple, a fifth mark of a disciple is discipleship. Yes, they're not just winning souls, they're making disciples. True goal of discipleship is to turn a believer into a disciple who becomes a disciple maker. The end goal is not so you get a tribe of people who call you Papa. The end goal is that you get a tribe and an army of people who replicate and duplicate and multiply. Amen. Now, what I would like to encourage you with is, so we started to look at discipleship even in our church, and I'm just going to be transparent with you. I felt that as HungryGen, we were better discipling students that came from everywhere in America than we discipled our own church. Our own church, we did have small groups, and we still do, and small groups are very important. But when it comes to churning believers into disciples, I felt that that was lacking. Maybe the excuse that we bought into is the fact that people are busy, they don't have time, and we don't need to take another evening. Plus, I hate, having a church calendar being so packed out that even Jesus can't fit into it. It's so busy. And so I was like, man, we just don't have time. But interestingly, we would